Hey, good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Believe this or not, we're sitting at 46 degrees as you're waking up. And that tells me it's a little chilly and you can't see behind me, but yes, I've got the fireplace going. I've got it mighty toasty in here because I was cold. Odie's going to catch it. That's all I got to say when he comes in. I do hope you've got a smile on your ready for today. There's a lot that has gone on over the weekend. We've got all the details of the behind-the-scenes stories, the headlines that shook our area, and what's going on across the nation. We're going to be having that in a minute. We will warm up to 67 today is high with sunshine, 47. So we got 20 degrees to gain before the day is over. It's going to be nice, but right now it has that little bit of a burr, one of our first tastes of this. We might even have some mornings that are going to be a little bit cooler than this up and coming this week. We've got the forecast to tell you all about it. All that's on the way today. Lost one of the TV greats over the weekend. We'll tell you about that also. Let's go to Collinsville now. Let's get a good word. Let's go out to Collinsville First Baptist.
One of the things that we Southerners pride ourselves in is hospitality. I still remember not long after moving to Mississippi, I was out house hunting and was going to see a for sale by owner house over in Bailey. They were friends of a church member, and they not only showed me their house, they insisted I stay for supper. I mean, it was lasagna, which is one of my favorites. But I was blown away. Where does that sort of thing come from? How did the culture develop? I have to believe it comes from the biblical worldview that permeated our society for so many years. You see, in Romans 12:13, the Holy Spirit tells us through Apostle Paul to seek to show hospitality. As Christians, we should be hospitable. In fact, it's so important that God made it one of the qualifications for pastors and deacons. But what is biblical hospitality? Is it entertaining people? Is it showcasing that you're the hostess with the mostest? Is it like being in that Better Homes and Garden Club, oohing and eyeing over the beautiful landscape? As one author put it, showing hospitality is not about showcasing that you're the perfect host. It's about showing grace and love to the one whom you've extended an invitation. It's about meeting a need that they have, present over perfect. That is the key to meaningful hospitality. So there you have it. Hospitality is simply showing grace and love to meet a need that people have. It can include giving stuff or sharing stuff, but ultimately it's about giving yourself. It's an expression of love that glorifies God. So beloved, be like the good book says, seek to be hospitable. May your life and your possessions be an expression of love. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we glance around, we have a lot of folks watching from everywhere as we go to Louisville, to Corey. How are you doing? Terry Ray tells us chilly in Philadelphia. We see Don is watching this morning from Fort Pierce, Linwood community. Edward, how are you doing today? From Hickory, Miss Pat and Jim Coker, how y'all doing? Hope everything is well. Oh, look here, a little bit of everywhere. Causeyville, Miss Dorothy joining us. That's just a few of the places that are joining us today. As we start looking at headlines this morning, what's happening as we look around this? The State Fair in the great state of Texas. Dallas, Texas is where it was over the weekend. Saturday night, it had to be evacuated. Gunshots rang out. 3 people were shot. 100,000 people were evacuated and the fair shut down. That's just a shame that something that is so good for so many is messed up by one person. It's not known the condition of the 3 people that were injured at the time. Apparently, it's not life-threatening, or at least we don't think it is at this point. But that's sad that we have to shut down an event because of, well, y'all think of the word for it. I'll stay calm. Who is the number 2 person in the Republican Party? Well, who knows? But they are all in trouble. How do we know this? Now, I saw a headline over the weekend where they try to make things look better for them sometimes than they are. It said Nikki Haley gaining ground as she tries to grab the nomination for the Republican Party for president. Now, that's not really happening. As we look at this, it's a far stretch from where Donald Trump is into where the number 2 person is. What is happening? How do we know this? Money. They're not getting the donations and finances that it takes to run a campaign. And as we'll see, Mike Pence building up debt after debt after debt. In the end, they'll all write a book about how it was to run for president. Now, I can't guarantee that Donald's going to run. I would have bet you a wooden nickel last time that he would have won. I have no way of knowing. But if he didn't win then, what are the odds of it this time is what goes through your head. And I think most Americans have thought that at one point. We're unsure of who will be the Democratic running nomination. Biden thinks it's him. I don't think the Democrats think that's the case. It's a long way to go, and there's going to be a lot of things change before the ballot actually goes out and the bid for president goes. The Republicans are fighting amongst each other to get this. DeSantis always seemed like the second runner-up, but that's not maybe the case. Not as well liked as most thought he would be. We'll pay close attention to this and update you as this moves along toward the 24 election cycle. And I posted a video Friday. I'm not sure if you saw this. It was a Republican from New York going down the halls of Congress saying this man needs to be thrown out of Congress. Apparently, somebody went on a tirade because of this Republican's stance for Israel. He had a child in his hand and something ugly was said, and he said the man needed to be removed from office. And we bleeped what he said because I don't like sharing words. It's just, you don't have to do that. Squad member, who is a member of Congress, she tweeted this weekend. And Twitter, now known as X, however you want to do that, has put the caption on it, "This is not true." She posted a picture trying to blame Israel for the attack and showed a picture of somebody injured. And it turns out it was from like 8 or 9 years ago. And I'm talking about the Democrat from Minnesota, squad member Omar. There's been a lot of talk about that. You make your own decisions. Y'all are the voters of America. But we do have those that are not friendly toward Israel. What is it, about 8 of those in Congress right now? That's what I think it is. Weight loss. I think America all tries to get this. One thing that you'll see is the South is blamed for overweight. Maybe we are. We love good food, don't we? Well, they've come out with a drug, and maybe you've heard of it, Ozempic. It's kind of expensive. They're trying to get this approved by insurance companies to where it would be more affordable and more Americans could use it to lose weight. They say that it will do other things for you to help your health. If they can prove that, then insurance companies will start paying for some of this. Be nice. I'm not sure if any of that really ever works. And it's really hard to back away from a table. I don't think there's anybody watching that doesn't agree with me with that. Food is good. You just sometimes can't stop yourself. All-out war. We're on the brink of that. As Israel has warned, we're coming. A lot of back and forth on this. Even Lindsey Graham tells Iran, back down or we'll come visit you. 1 million are trying to flee the area of Gaza, as Israel has put out, we're coming. Ground forces will attack. And as Israel says, we're giving you warning, unlike what you did for us. A lot of innocent people were killed in Israel if you have not been paying attention to what has gone on. And I keep hearing more and more, and I guess I need to... There's lots of talk of all of this because this is the Holy Land. This is where it all began. It's in the Bible, the ends of times. Now, no one, let me say this up front, there's not man anywhere that can tell you the time and date that the revelations will begin or end. That can't be done. But I have to agree, there's a lot of things as you look at the headlines across America and read your Bible that line up, that mark it. Although there's, again, let me state, if anybody ever tells you on this day at this hour this is going to happen, because it tells us, no one knows. Only God knows. But it sure is getting warm, ain't it? What's that old saying? The fat lady's not singing, but she sure is humming. I think that's kind of what the saying is on that. As we glance at a few more headlines this morning, there's nothing worse than an innocent man going to jail. Now, I did not know about this. As we look at this story, this was in Arkansas. A man has been in jail for 20 years. He was accused of murder. He had someone testify that he did it. Apparently, it was one of those wham-bam thank you ma'ams to where the testimony of the man was not really checked out. And this is the part where I don't know or don't quite understand. As Americans, back when COVID hit, remember when we all got that little bit of a check and sent you got for COVID that came in the mail? I didn't know prisoners got this, but apparently this man got a little check from this, and instead of using it to buy things at the prison, he used it to buy or hire a private detective. This thing would go. Sure enough, it didn't add up. Private detective went somewhere, and they have proved his innocent. He has been released from jail. False testimony is the guy that made it was also in prison. He admitted that he lied about it. He's free now. 20 years of his life gone. And he urges them to check DNA. He says, you will not find anything on me whatsoever. And it's different on murder trials when you have 100% without a doubt facts that put you at the crime scene. When it's Joe said so-and-so, I'm always a little leery of that. People can frame you, and apparently this is another situation of that. I don't think we've got one right now. Rit Aid is not in Meridian anymore, is it, Odie?
Nope.
No, it's closed down. As we see this, bankruptcy was filed yesterday. 2,100 stores kind of out there in the loom. All of this stems from when they were prescribing or filling prescriptions, painkillers. They say they oversupplied. They were sued. The fate of the stores now unknown, as this is billions of dollars in the lawsuit. They just can't operate anymore. 2,100 stores may close. I didn't say they would, but it's a chance that they could as we look at the headlines on this. Let's see here. Can Jim Jordan claim House Speaker? It's uncertainty. That's one of the things that's going to be going on this week in Washington that will be much talked about. I do think Jim is one of the most qualified there is. I've watched him when he questioned people when they stood before Congress and he was on these panels. He didn't throw softball questions on either side of the party. He was straightforward and asked the questions. I wish him luck, and hopefully they will rally behind this and get this behind us. We have a lot going on. Israel, we have these other countries that we're wanting need. We need a strong Speaker of the House to settle these things, to be a leader for the United States. Let's hope this gets cleared up this week. That's some of the headlines. We'll be right back as this morning gets underway as we tell you more about everything that is happening this morning. Your forecast is next. Will Parker is your local lawyer located here in Meridian. If you've been in an auto accident, see Will and get the help you deserve. Will explain your rights. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Will Parker, your local lawyer, 2110 Front Street, Meridian. Philadelphia Gun & Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun & Pawn.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at our record highs, record lows today, 1990, we set that high degree of 93. The coolest that we've got on record for this date would be 1987 when it was a cool 33 this morning. Whew. Sydney, how are you doing watching from Clarkdale? We appreciate you. Now, as we move into the sunshine today, as we said, 67 here, but look at Columbus Air Force Base. As we get further north, the cooler it gets. 64 Columbus across Starkville, 65 in Philadelphia. Back over west of us, about the same as it is in Meridian if you follow that I-20 corridor through Mississippi, about 66 in Vicksburg. Warmer in Natchez at 67. We'll get a little bit warmer there as you move toward the coast. Over in Bama land, 62 at Birmingham. Gadsden, Alabama, a cool 61 today. As we see Selma settling in at 65, and we'll be somewhere around that Livingston, Alabama, about 66 today. As we move with this, the fire danger is not over. Now, on top of this, with this increased fire danger, we're at a level 1. We will have 20-mile-an-hour gusts today. If you light a fire, it can jump quickly and move across. That little rain was just a tease. We're not totally over this yet. So no burning just of yet. Most of the state of Mississippi still under a burn ban. As we move to this is what the temperatures look like, as we do see some warmer weather there in West Texas. Pecos, that area there, a little bit warmer. As we'll see across Mississippi, kind of normal for the most part, cooler in the Carolinas. As we glance across this, 66 today, 67 along in there. No chances of rain. Down to 43 tonight. Brr. As we look at tomorrow, we will get 70. And for the remainder of the week, we will jump back into the 70s as we see that warm front there moving in from Texas. 74, 76, and even as high as 78 on Friday. But look at the weekend. If you've got an event planned for what's coming up, it's going to be great. Perfect weather. And there are a lot of things going on between now and Halloween, getting the kids out. We go that extra week all the way till October the 30th. Look at this, 77, 4 days in a row. 7-7, that's supposed to be good luck. Yeah. I like that number, 7. It's a good one there. 76 on the 27th, and we'll get down to 69 right there the day before Halloween. Our biggest chance of rain there popping up on the 29th. So that's on a Sunday. Maybe we'll get that. We'll see. As we move along, we look at what's happening here in the Gulf as we move to this National Hurricane Center. We do have another situation developing here, about 60% chance. This is moving along at about 46 miles an hour. This has moved up since I posted this morning. This is at 1,009 millibars now. Tropical Storm Sean, as he's out there. No threat to us as of yet. All of this has a lean, this does, as it moves this direction. Now, this is not developed yet. We'll stay on it and watch it. What's happening with the fishing world today as we go over to Chet's Bait and Body. The biggest time to fish is going to be this afternoon around 2 o'clock. Be there from 2 until 4. Get there early with your worms around 1:30. Maybe it'll be a good fishing trip for you. Again, that's your best fishing times. As we look to deer hunting today, when is the best time? It looks like it'll be a little bit better somewhere around your first 1:16, around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So it's a lunchtime hunt. Get there by 12:30 until about 3 is the best times. Now, if you're there at 3, it's going to be kind of hard to leave. Always is. Always gets good at dark 30 no matter what. We do show again that we're going to have gusts of about 20, sustained winds of 10 to 15, gust up to 20. It will blow cowboy hats. It will mess up hairs. Hairs or hair. Let me reword that. That is. I was referring to, well, what I have, a hair or two. It will blow it out of place. Oh, that's a quick look at your forecast and where we are and what's going on across America. Now, we're going to go in depth of what's going on across the state of Mississippi locally and all around the areas coming up at 7 o'clock as Odie is prepared as we get ready for this. A lot happened. We've got some tragedies. We've got some fun times. We're going to tell you about all of them. It begins at 7 as we get this day underway. Cheryl, how are you doing there? Laura Lee, good morning to you. Joseph, so many of you up. Jeff Lewis, good to see you again, brother. I think I owe you a phone call if I'm not mistaken. 10 till as we get ready for this. We'll be live in 5 minutes as we get the show ready to go. Join us, won't you? Make a note, tell a friend, share it, do all that kind of stuff. Let everybody know what's going on. We'll be right back with the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.